Hi everyone. In this lesson, you will learn causatives with have, get, make, and let. Let's get started with that question. Do you do the following yourself, or does somebody else do them for you? Like cutting your hair or repairing a car. If somebody else does them for you, then you say, I have a hairdresser cut my hair, or I have my hair cut by a hairdresser. Or you can say, I get a mechanic to repair my car, or I get my car repaired by a mechanic. Here we form the causative structure by using have, as in the example here, or get. And also note that you can use all causative verbs with any tense, and you can also use them with modal verbs like I've had, for example, present perfect, that got, past simple, I was having, past continuous, or they should get with a modal verb, okay? Or we can also use make and let in different verb tenses and with modal verbs as well. Now let's see the details of have and get. Let's first take a look at the structure of have and get. Okay. So when I use have like this, I can follow with somebody, okay, and I add word one here. And the formula is have somebody word one. Or similar to have, I can also use get like this. The only difference is I add to verb one, and the formula is I get somebody to do something. Or I can also use have and get like this. I have something verb 3. Like I have my hair cut. This is verb 3 indeed, but it's an irregular verb as you know. And the formula is have something verb 3. Or I can say I get something verb 3 as well. And the formula is get something verb 3. Get something done. So we can say that there are two groups of sentence structure in causatives. One of them is the active causative and the other is passive causative. Let's now take a look at the meaning of have somebody verb 1 and have something verb 3. Both of them mean get help from somebody. It could be a professional, and that means you arrange somebody else to do something for you. Let's see the examples. In 2020, for example, after the COVID pandemic broke out, people had to stay home and salons and hairdressers were all closed. So, what happened? People didn't have a hairstylist cut their hair, or they couldn't have their hair dyed. And some men had to buy electric shavers to shave themselves. You know, normally we pay for them, okay, and we just arrange these by doing payment, okay. We don't cut our hair by ourselves or dye our hair by ourselves. We need somebody else. We need to get help from somebody, from a professional, for example, from a hairstylist. So now, is it clear? When we use have somebody verb 1 or have something verb 3, all we do is to arrange somebody to do something for us, and in general we pay for it. Let's take a look at how get is used in the active to verb 1 or in the passive verb 3. It also means get professional help from somebody in two ways, either by arranging someone to do something for us or by convincing, by persuading. Let's see how by looking at the situation given to us. The situation is a cleaner cleans my house every Wednesday, but last week there was a problem and the cleaner couldn't come. I had to get the house cleaned And luckily, my brother was at home. By promising him to help with his project, I got my brother to clean the windows. It was a win-win situation as I didn't pay for cleaning and he made sure I was going to help him. You may have realized that get the house cleaned and got my brother to clean are the two causative structures here. Get the house cleaned is a passive one and got my brother to clean is the active one. Let's take a look at the passive one first. The passive one means I arrange the cleaning by doing payment. Similar to have something verb 3. The passive structure of have and get are similar. We can note this that way. However, when it comes to the active form of get somebody to work one, got my brother to clean, the meaning is different. The meaning is I arranged the cleaning, okay, but I convinced my brother. I persuaded my brother. How could I convince him? I promised him to help with his project, for example. So to recap, we can say have in the active form and in the passive form plus get in the passive form have the meaning of arranging somebody to do something for us. Get in the active form, get somebody to work one, has the meaning of convincing, persuading. Let's do some practice together. We'll use have or get with the following. Let's see the first situation. You may have seen a table like this. Parents are on their mobile phones and a child here is trying to eat but watching YouTube videos on her tablet, for example. So the situation is some parents persuade their children to eat by allowing them to watch YouTube videos. So they persuade their children to eat. Should I use the active or the passive causative form of get here? The meaning is persuade. So I should say some parents get their children to eat by allowing them to watch YouTube videos. And another situation is that some people order food online and get food delivered to their home. They use some applications and they get food delivered to their home. I will imitate this structure in my new sentence. Some people by ordering online, and I will use have as in the parentheses. How can I use have in passive causative? I can say some people have food delivered by ordering online. So you see, get something verb 3 and have something verb 3 have the same meaning. However, get somebody to verb 1 has the meaning of persuade somebody to verb 1, okay? And one more note for you to talk about unwanted or unfortunate things. You can use have or get plus something plus verb 3. You can use the passive form. For example, you drop your wallet and somebody else takes your wallet and you say, I had or I got my wallet stolen. I didn't ask for it, but unfortunately, it happened, you can say. And here we talk about the causative verb make. Do you like films that make you think? Cinema gives us the chance to see the world from a different perspective, and it connects us like all great art does. Some films really make you think about life. They cause you to think. So here, make you think means cause you to think. Make someone verb 1, make you think. That means that equals to cause someone to do something. Let's now see one more meaning of make while talking about the film Elysium. In the movie Elysium, which is a dark philosophical sci-fi drama, poor citizens are made to live on Earth, whereas the rich live on Elysium, and those privileged people make poor people stay on earth, and let's see how.
Welcome. Oh, hello, madam.
So, as you can see, they are made to live on earth. They are forced, or privileged people make poor people stay on earth. They make poor people stay. Okay, this has a different meaning. Make someone work one, or be made to plus work one has the meaning of to force or to be forced to do something. Now we know that the causative make has two meanings. The first one is to cause, the second one is to force, okay? And if it means force, it can also be used in the passive form to mean be forced to do something. Now let's do some practice together. Now we'll read about the movement Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is a movement that caused people to unite against incidents of police brutality in the USA. In July 2013, the movement began with the use of the hashtag Black Lives Matter on social media. In 2020, George Floyd was forced to lie face down, and this resulted in a murder. This, in turn, has caused millions of people to protest police brutality and racism so far, not only in the USA, but also in different regions of the world. Now, as a practice, we will use make in the active or passive form based on the situations given to us and based on the clues given to us in yellow here. Black Lives Matter is a movement that caused people to unite. How can I rewrite it with make? I can say that made people unite to mean caused people to unite. The second one. In 2020, George Floyd face down and this resulted in a murder. Let me find the clue here. Was forced to lie face down. How can I rewrite it using make? I should use the passive form here, and I should say was made to lie face down. And the last one, this in turn, police brutality and racism so far. Let me find the clue here. Has caused millions of people to protest. Okay, so this has caused, I will use this has made millions of people protest. Okay, so to recap, as you can see, make, the causative make, can mean to force or to be forced, or to cause somebody to do something. Now moving on with let, the causative let somebody or let something plus word one. That means to allow something to happen or someone to do something by not doing anything or by giving your permission. Let's see the examples. He wanted to go, but his boss didn't let him go. That means his boss didn't allow him, didn't permit him to go. Or I'll let you stay up late just this once. I'll give you permission to stay up late. Here, let means to allow, to permit, or to give permission. If let has this meaning, we can apply it in passive using allow or permit. Let's see how. In the active form, we can use let, but in the passive form, we cannot use let. We can use be allowed to or be permitted to, and this be can change based on the verb tense. All you need is to change the verb to be. He wasn't allowed to go means his boss didn't let him go. Okay, or we can say, for example, I'll let you stay up late In the active form, let. In the passive form, I can't use let again. Now I'm using you'll be allowed to stay up late, or you'll be permitted to stay up late. So, these examples are about allowing, permitting, or giving permission. How about this meaning? Not doing anything. Let's see the examples. After high school, some boys decide to let their hair grow long. That means they don't do anything to shorten their hair. Or we can say, for example, let your shoes dry completely before putting them on. Don't do anything before they dry completely, that means. At this point, you can ask me, teacher, can we use these in passive form? No, we cannot. It's not practical to use the passive form here. Please also note this. Let's now continue with a few exercises. Based on the book 50 Dangerous Things You Should Let Your Children Do, we will use let in the highlighted parts if possible. Let's first read the text together. It's a good idea to allow children to assist you in the kitchen and to allow them to try cooking on their own too. More than any other activity, it will teach them a valuable skill towards grown-up self-sufficiency. According to one study in the UK, while 80% of third graders were allowed to walk to school in 1971, that number dropped to just 9% in 1990, and it's even lower today. And don't be afraid to let your kids fail. That's how they learn and become more resilient. So in the blue highlighted parts here, we see the verb allow in the active form and were allowed in the passive form. The question is, can we use let in the passive form as well? Okay, we should remember this. We can, of course, use it in the active form and say it's a good idea to let your children assist you in the kitchen, or to let them try cooking on their own. But here there's passive form, and it's not possible to use let here in the passive voice, as you know. I guess now we made it clear. We can use let in the active form, but in the passive form we should use were allowed or were permitted. It is not possible to use let in the passive voice. And before we finish the lesson, I have a question to you. We have one more causative let here. Let your kids fail. What does that mean, do you think? Don't be afraid to let your kids fail. That's how they learn and become more resilient, become stronger, we say here. Here, let means don't do anything, okay? Don't do anything. Don't be afraid, for example, to watch your kids fail. Don't do anything. If they fail, that means it doesn't mean allow here, and please also note this before the end of the lesson. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Now you can see the checklist.